guys, welcome back to the channel, Run with CT, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite daily trainers that's a bit more on the max cushion side, at least to me, because the way it's because of how bouncy it is and how squishy it is and very comfortable as a shoe to use pretty much every day as far as like when you go on your normal daily runs or just walking around all day, and that is the Mizuno Neo Zen. I still love the look of this shoe. It just looks so nice. Even when I did my first impressions on it, my first biggest impression was the look of this shoe. I love like this little camouflage black and white look. Everywhere I went with this shoe, people always gave compliments or just looked at the shoe and always asked, "What is this shoe?" or "It looks pretty cool." So it does get a lot of attention so far in my experience with this shoe, but I do love like the look of this shoe. Now let's get to the specs. You got a 40 millimeter in the heel with 34 millimeter in the forefoot with a 6 millimeter drop. And in my size 10, I believe is at 9 ounces or 250 grams. For the midsole, it's called Energy Next, which is a nitrogen infused supercritical TPU foam. It does have a one-piece knit upper, and the tongue is very seamless. It's more integrated with the whole upper. It's just, yeah, like a sock. So what kind of shoe is this? So this is pretty much the brother of the Neo Vista, except the thing is, this doesn't have a plate in it, unlike the Neo Vista. So it's actually, I think, a little bit lighter than the Neo Vista, but it's also much softer and more squishy. And you can actually feel the shoe collapse at each corner when you run. Like when you can like just roll your ankle and the shoe will literally just go with it. But yeah, this is more of your relaxed daily trainer. I believe you can do it all, and you can just do your long runs in it. And I find myself being able to do up tempo runs in this shoe pretty easily for a shoe that's so squishy and so soft. And that's usually not the case when it comes to me. If a shoe is too squishy and too soft, I just find myself wanting to cruise in it, not really trying to pick up the pace in it. But this shoe, it has a good amount of bounce to it, so I was able to do that with this shoe for a good amount of miles. Actually, yeah, for I can keep the pace up for a long time in this shoe and not feel like the shoe is slowing me down because it's too soft or too squishy. Now, when it comes to the upper, it's of course a single knit upper. It's very stretchy. I find the top to be stretchy. Even if your feet is slightly on the, it's more on the wider side. I still believe your feet can fit in here because my feet is like kind of wide. It's not like super wide, but it's kind of wide. And I have flat feet, of course, and it works well with it. And the thing is, it's very airy. It's breathable through this. So I don't find my feet getting sweaty in this shoe. The only problem I kind of had when it came to the upper is around the ankle collar. So whenever I put my foot in the shoe, I really had to like push my foot in and try to like pull this up to really for my ankle to drop in. And of course, I don't hate it, but I kind of wish it was a little bit easier for me to get my foot in the shoe. But yeah, it's not a complete deal breaker to me. But I do like the upper. I do find it that it's a little bit stretchy and it's still very supportive. There's some structure back here at the heel, and I never find myself to have any problems with rubbing around the ankle collar too, because that's the one thing I kind of worried about as well. Is I was gonna have some rubbing, maybe some irritation around to the ankles, and for me, none of that. And that's the thing. I wear ankle socks. I wear ankle socks, so I don't really wear long socks. I'm not the biggest fan of that. So even with ankle socks on, I still never had a problem with the shoe rubbing me in a way to where I get annoyed or it just irritates the skin on around my ankle. Tying the shoe and the tongue, yes, the tongue of course is integrated with the whole upper of the shoe, as as I just said. But I don't feel like it bothers me or just annoys me as far as like whenever I go to tie my shoelaces tight, that it feels like it's too tight on top because it doesn't feel like it's not enough padding at the top. I feel like it's okay to me. It's actually pretty good, and I don't feel like the shoelaces are whenever I tie my shoelaces that I tie it too tight on the top by accident because I do have quite a bit of volume to my feet, so it doesn't feel like that it's gonna pinch me or have any irritation at the top of my foot when it comes to this shoe. So I do really like the upper. I do find it to be very comfortable, and basically, I also didn't have to have any problem in the toe box area. I do have quite a bit of room in the toe box area. And when it comes to the midsole, I really like it. It's still very bouncy while being very comfortable and squishy at the same time. And not a lot of shoes has achieved that. Well, at least not to me that I've tested so far. I would say the only small drawback to that is the shoe can feel a bit unstable, especially if you're a heel striker. I do find the shoe being able to wobble a little bit, especially when you start to really pick up the paces. Like I pick up the pace in the shoe, but I won't go so much faster because I can feel the shoe wobbling and I just don't want to roll my ankle. But the thing is, actually pushes you to focus a bit more on your running. So if you're a midfoot to forefoot striker, I think you're going to be doing just fine. Because when I run in that type of foot strike, I don't find myself feeling like the shoe is unstable or feeling wobbly. The shoe just felt much better at those type of foot strikes. Or if you're just looking for a really good shoe that's good for stability, this might not be the shoe when it comes to that. And when it comes to the grip, I actually don't know the name to the grip if they have like a name to the outsole of the shoe, but plenty of grip. Actually, a lot of grip for me. Even when the pavement is wet, I still find myself having, you know, grip in this shoe. So whenever I turn corners or I had to stop, it happened. It just worked for me. Now, what's my overall experience in this shoe? It actually surprised me because at first in the beginning, I didn't believe it was a shoe that I was going to love as far as using it for long distance runs. I thought it would be a shoe for a short distance run. But I was completely wrong about that. I've done plenty long distance runs in this shoe, and I've loved it every time. Yes, I had to get a little bit used to the shoe being a little wobbly, but a lot of times, majority of the time, I'm running from midfoot to forefoot, anyways. Just on my normal strikes with in general, but with this shoe, it really pushed me to stay focused on that, which was great to me. And then I didn't feel like the midsole bottomed out, like it just stopped being as squishy or stopped being as supportive. I just felt like the shoe just kept still giving me that bounce. Not a crazy amount of bounce that you would get, let's say, in a plated shoe, but I still got enough bounce and also enough comfort in the shoe that my legs didn't really feel fatigued. Anyways, after an 18 or 20 mile run, I can't wait to put way more miles on this shoe to see how the whole entire shoe still holds up. Is the foam still going to be as bouncy? Is it going to flatten out? Is the top of this upper going to stretch out to where it's just not good anymore? Because that's what I'm also kind of worried about too. The other thing when it comes to this shoe, for to have so much stack height and so much cushion, it's actually pretty light. This shoe is really light. I feel like for me, when I start picking up the paces and I'm just going and going with the flow, the shoe slowly starts to disappear from my feet. And then when I come to a stop, I can feel it all come back again. But the thing is, it's a very light shoe. So for me, I'm also light on my feet as well. I don't tend to pound the ground that hard when I'm running. I'm very light on my toes. If you're more of the heavier type, that's the only thing. I don't know if I can say the shoe would probably be that good because I feel like the shoe is so soft and so squishy that I feel like it could just over time of running a long distance and you're a bigger runner that it could just kind of squish down and kind of just stay that way and not really give that much energy return after a long time. The performance I just find pretty great of this shoe, which I kind of already mentioned during when I was just talking about how I like running in a shoe for long distance. I can turn corners just fine in this shoe. Well, let me rephrase that. When it comes to turning corners, yeah, I can turn just fine, but I can't turn it at normal speeds like I want to. Like I typically, depending on the shoe, I can just turn like just quickly and just keep accelerating. With this shoe, I just felt like, yeah, I had to slow down quite a bit and then turn this. Once again, it felt like this shoe is more like an SUV because it just felt like I had to stop it, and then go. I couldn't just turn the corner and just take off. I do feel like if I would have tried to do that, I probably would have rolled my ankle. Of course, let's just get to the price of this shoe. This shoe is $150. To me, I don't find it that bad. I actually think it's really great that this price is not like $200 because I feel like this shoe would if that was A6, it would be around $198, for this shoe. And this shoe is actually, you get so much for it. I feel like you get a lot of shoe for the money, and it just feels great. It actually feels like a much higher premium shoe, at least to me, especially when it comes to that foam. I can, just do long runs and walk all day in the shoe, and it's just great. Stack height feels higher than what the stats say compared to some other shoes, but at the same time, it's no deal breaker. It's just a really great shoe. So I would say if you want something that's really comfortable, it's a great daily trainer. You can really put the miles in, and if you want to just use it as a walking shoe as well, I feel like this is a really great shoe for that. And of course, thanks so much for watching, dealing with me and my silliness today. Pretty much, I feel like I'm out of the loop a little bit, but yeah. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.